6th of November 2023. This news flash, I'm going to talk about this thing of Julius Malema and his story that the Bokke must fall. I saw this on my timeline this morning. Springboks, an apartheid symbol. Malema wants new name colours for four-time world champions. More than 5,000 EFF supporters filled up the Standard Bank Arena in Johannesburg on Sunday, November 5, 2023, as the party prepares for the 2024 elections. The EFF CIC, Julius Malema, spoke to the crowd about the concept of the ground forces and encouraged those gathered to ensure representation in every voting station next year. Now, the biggest pity is that the people that should actually hear what I'm saying are most probably too uneducated to understand. Now, I'm not going to handle the whole article because he made a lot of bullshit statements. But what I want to focus on is whenever Malema speaks to the crowds, he speaks about destruction. Always destruction. This must fall, that must fall, that must fall. And then you, his followers, go into the streets and you burn schools and you loot shops and you burn cars and you destroy infrastructure. You do that while he sits comfortably in his Sandton mansion. Because what you must understand, this man is very well cared for. He is paid well and he has been given lots and lots and lots of money by the cabal that actually controls him. He is just one of their soldiers. That is what he is. And his work and his job is to whip your emotions up and get you to do destructive things. Malema has got one instruction, and that instruction is to start a civil war. And who is going to be the fighters? You. Where is he going to be? Safe in his mansion. But you are the ones that are going to die in the streets. And you must understand, that is what you were bred for. They bred you. They gave you no education, they gave you no skills, they made no provision for you to ever have a job. You are in that category that Klaus Schwab so accurately describes as useless eaters. Now, they will tolerate you until you have done what you were bred for. And that job that is lying in your future is to create chaos and then trigger a civil war in the country. Why? Because in that chaos, the country will be plundered. You don't need to listen to me. Go and look at what is going on in the DRC. How long is that civil unrest going on in the DRC? For longer than many of you can remember. But there's not a single day that the raw materials are not going out of that country to the markets. But the people in that country are daily dying and they don't have a life. Now ask yourself, when have you ever heard Malema making a fiery speech in which he promotes the establishment of schools and better education for you? Never. No. You burn schools on his behalf. When has Malema ever stood on the stage and promoted the establishment of industries that will provide thousands and thousands of jobs? No, never. He runs this must fall and that must fall campaigns against all the big brands, against all the manufacturers, everything. Everything must always fall. When Malema is involved, things must fall. That is what he can promote. He never promotes build. And then there are people that are gullible enough to see him as a future president of South Africa. I've got fucking news for them. This guy is taking you all to hell on a fast train, and you're queuing up to buy tickets. What has he done? Let me explain something to you. He stood in that stadium and very bravely and boldly sang the song, "Kill the Boer, kill the farmer." And he also stood on a stage and shouted out, "We are Putin, Putin are us." And then now most recently he shouted, "We are Hamas, Hamas is us," and he promised that if he's the president, he will arm Hamas. But they always like to tie themselves to some cause that's got nothing to do with your future. His Putin stories was very passionate, but the man should have taken the time to go and listen and study what Putin actually is. I'm going to show you this clip. Not a clip, a news snippet. This past weekend, Russia celebrated their National Day. And in these celebrations, they displayed and promoted the multiculturalism of Russia and how the Russians respect one another's culture and how the Russians are proud of their diversity. And here in this clip you can see Vladimir Putin meets the leaders of Russia's Christian, Jewish, Muslim and Buddhist leaders in honor of Russian National Unity Day. This is what a truly united nation looks like. Now look at Western nations and how much distrust and hatred occurs within them. Western nations are broken, with leaders who lie to their people and who try to convince them that Russia is the problem. Russia isn't the problem, it is the answer. Now, I have mentioned it many times, that Putin is in charge of the Ministry of Minorities in Russia. That should have made Malema and his supporters and the ANC take note. So, we sit in a country where political leaders stand on a stage and say, "Kill the Boer, kill the farmer." We see that they promote genocide, in other words. We see Malema whipping the crowds up and spoiling for a civil war. Now, in a discussion I had with another guy, I talked about these things and his answers were fairly glib, for lack of a better word. And then he also mentioned that they are planning on getting the EFF to send 10,000 young blacks to Russia to be trained, to get military training. And I said to him, what in your fucking mind makes you think the Russians will do that? And he was very surprised. And I said to him, look at what Putin does in Russia to maintain harmony among his diverse nation. 190 ethnic groups, over 2,000 cultural groups. You don't hear of ethnic violence in Russia. So, tell me, what makes you think Putin will associate Russia with a country and a movement that promotes genocide and wants to fire up a civil war? What makes you think that? And he had some answers for it. And then I said to him, you must understand, Putin and Xi Jinping has got a vision for BRICS. And that vision does not include civil wars, ethnic cleansing, and genocide. And you must understand that slowly but surely, South Africa is going to be moved to the sideline of BRICS, because South Africa is an embarrassment to Putin and Xi Jinping. And he was very upset about that. And look, I can talk for a long time about this. I've handled most of this in other Skidmarks. But I'm going to end it with this. After Malema's kill the boer, kill the farmer fiasco and debacle, and Cyril's silence on the matter, and a lot of politically flaming utterances both from the ANC and from the EFF, something happened. And I want to add in, do you really think a guy like Putin think you are clever to destroy your national rugby team? Don't matter what type of fucking stories you want to put onto it. He sits in Russia and he looks and he thinks, okay, that team just won the World Cup and this fuckers want to destroy the team. Are they fucking crazy? Unfortunately, the answer is yes. But then, this happened. Russia promises easier investment for friendly countries. South Africa doesn't make the list. Now, if that is not a warning, I don't know. And the guy that I have discussions with had a lot of things about, and he said, yeah, but the EFF and BEE and nothing was mentioned in this statement. And I said, why should they mention it? They just leave you off the list. You must go and find out why the fuck were you left off the list. This is a big shot. All the BRICS countries and the countries that want to join BRICS, 20 of them are on that list. South Africa is not on that list. What does it mean? Those countries are going to get favorable conditions and treatment to invest in the Russian economy. South Africa will not. That is dangerous. The ANC has bankrupted the country. It fucked it up to such a point. And I think it is done on purpose because they are now beginning to realize that they will most probably lose power next year. So what are they doing? They're fucking the country financially to such a place that doesn't matter who takes over from them. Whoever takes over will not be able to succeed. Because they were going to be so embroiled in trying to handle the debt. And they have no money to do anything that they've promised the people. So they will fail as well. But there's a dangerous thing in there. The world is on the brink of World War III. And the Western countries are bankrupt. The days of tossing billions and billions and billions of dollars into basket cases around the globe is over. Money is done. There's no more money. Who has the money? The Russians and the Chinese has the money. So, whoever comes in next as a government are going to be financed by one of those two. And quite obviously, they will have to play according to the rules of whoever is financing them. But that is too much for your 30% pass matric and a certificate that you bought from a Nigerian gang in Hillbrow. As your Minister of Education said, we must just understand the quality of those certificates are good and those people are only trying to make a living. What the fuck is that? But that is where we are. This rotten dealer leadership, including Malema, can toss you around easily because you are uneducated. You are too stupid to see what they are planning for you. And I'm going to leave it with this post from Rowan Kamarak. Russia to South Africa. Let that image sink in. Please give me a like and a subscribe and share the thing Thank you for your support.